10% for the buyer or the seller.
Actually, are you absolutely sure about this?
Yeah.
10% either side.
Yeah.
Have you done, I mean, that's a silly question to you. Have you done your numbers? Because you're a numbers man. I mean, you have the biggest chain of antique centres in the United Kingdom. So I think we know you know what you're doing. But 10% for buyers, 10% for sellers. Is there going to be enough revenue for you? And if you don't mind me asking, how on earth are you going to make that work? Well, we're about to find out, because Vincent Page from Antiques on High is going to tell us how he's going to revolutionise the world of antique auctions. Vincent, this is going to be quite a big announcement for the world of antiques, is it not?
Well, possibly, yeah. I mean, I'm looking at it from a very individual perspective in one respect, and yet I'm looking at it also from the point of view of the fact that so many people are nowadays being charged so much by auction houses.
Right, okay, because this is the big thing, isn't it? Vincent's new auction room here in Taunton. It's not just a new auction room. You're really going to, I think you're going to upset the apple cart a little bit. Explain why.
Well, we came up with the idea of having an auction house earlier in the year. It was announced that a leading major auction house in Taunton was moving and vacating the premises they were in. They're not too far away from us, and we get on with them very well. And I kind of figured that this was the opportunity and this was the time, because, and I don't know whether it's because of COVID, but for the last 4 or 5 years, auction houses in general seem to have put their percentages up almost every few months.
Okay, so what would you say is the average auction percentage now for buying?
Well, from the way I look at it, it's about 30%.
Okay.
Some are less, some are more.
Okay, 30%, and then for selling?
It can be about the same.
Okay, it can be up to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we all know that, and it's something that we all live with. You're here in Taunton. This is it's not your flagship, or is it your flagship antique centre?
Well, I suppose
size?
in terms of size, yes, it is. Yeah, because it's 15,000 square feet.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It is huge. I mean, people can see. This what you see in the background there is probably 3% the size of the building. So you're putting the auction here, within this building.
Yeah.
Okay, and you've got another 5 antique centres around the country.
Another 4.
5 here. So what are you going to be doing? Are you going to be sucking in goods for the auction through the other antique centres as well?
Yes, I think that's a situation that's going to grow. But all the dealers that are currently in the other centres, we've offered them free transport and collection and delivery.
Wow. Okay.
So if somebody in Harrogate buys something through the auction, not only do they pay the ridiculous percentage that we've announced, 10% for the buyer or the seller.
Actually, are you absolutely sure about this?
Yeah.
10% either side.
Yeah.
Have you done, I mean, that's a silly question to you. Have you done your numbers? Because you're a numbers man. I mean, you have the biggest chain of antique centres in the United Kingdom. So I think we know you know what you're doing. But 10% for buyers, 10% for sellers. Is there going to be enough revenue for you? And if you don't mind me asking, how on earth are you going to make that work?
Yes, there'll be enough revenue, because without being rude, Lesley and I aren't greedy.
Okay.
Some people will start an auction, or they'll buy an auction and they buy it with a current trading percentage. So they know what they're going to get straight away. And usually they'll put the percentage up a little bit, and they'll just creep up. And while people continue to pay it, they will continue to charge it. It's as simple as that. It's very much like fuel prices. Look at fuel prices.
All right. Okay. But is it because you've already got these premises? You're paying for the premises. Your expenses are here. Are you going to be increasing your business expenses very much by incorporating an auction room within this huge building?
The business expenses won't increase pro rata as much as you would if you were to go and take on somewhere else.
Of course.
And if you had separate premises. So
Okay.
in real terms, there is a degree of saving.
Yeah.
You know, because we're in the same place.
Okay. Are you going to be doing anything different to other auction rooms? So it's, apart from the drastically reduced fees, is there going to be anything else reduced? Are you going to have viewings? Are you going to have the public allowed in? And a lot of auction rooms are basically closing their doors to public.
Yeah,
these
I know.
days.
I find that a bit strange, actually. I don't understand why you can take photos of things, put them on the internet, and then say, but you can't come and look at them.
Okay.
It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So we will be having our auctions every third Wednesday of the month.
Right.
Initially, which will mean that on the Monday and the Tuesday, and obviously today is a Monday, market day, people can come in and view all the things that are for sale in the up and coming auction.
Okay, so you can have 2 full days viewing.
Yeah.
So that's very traditional. And so in many ways, in fact, you are going back in time, because going back in time, auction buying and selling rates were closer to 10% than they are to 30% today.
Yeah, I know.
So maybe you are going back in time. You are doing it quite traditionally.
There's a few things that we kind of feel that we want to sort of like step back to.
Okay.
You know, because I think that it's almost got like a horse race where people have just galloped ahead so far with things, and they just continue to do and stretch and stretch. I mean, if you realistically look, you go and buy something from an auction now and you look at the invoice, and the price on the bottom of that invoice bears no relation whatsoever to the original hammer price that you actually paid.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's just, they've added this, the VAT you can't avoid, that's the way life is. But there's this charge, there's that charge, we're not charging anything for storage for the first month.
Whoa.
So somebody can buy something, it can stay here for a month.
A month?
A month, and they
I
don't
bought
have to pay
things in auction and had to get it out within a day, 2 days, otherwise I'm getting
we won't
charged.
be doing that. I mean, as long as people pay promptly.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, the bottom line is, if somebody's put something in to sell, as soon as they know it's sold, they want their money.
Of course, yeah.
So, you know, irrespective of whether it's sat on a shelf here for 3 weeks, as long as they're paid, they're happy.
Yes, of course.
So, you know, I just want to keep things as simple as we can.
What is your prediction? What kind of ripples are you going to make within the world of antique auctions in the United Kingdom? What are other auctioneers going to think? How are they going to react? Are they going to ignore you? Or are they going to start bringing their fees down? What's going to happen? Because I don't think anyone's done anything like this, Vincent, for a very long time, if ever.
Yeah.
You're a real disruptor here. You are, though. You are a disruptor. There's no doubt about it. And I think you quite like disrupting.
I don't do it for the fun of it, but I do it because at the moment, the way I see it is that the fees people are being charged is not right.
Okay.
You know, and if we can do something about that, then we will. We've already had the council come in here this morning, as you know.
I actually interviewed the deputy mayor. She came in because she's heard what's going on.
Yeah.
And she came in on a recce to see what she's heard is actually true.
Yeah.
That this place is jumping, and it is jumping.
Yeah.
And actually there is a video with me chatting to the deputy mayor about that. So it's very good. So you've been a disruptor. Taunton love you for it. The Taunton council are coming down and going, we love this. Keep on going. I don't know what other auction rooms are going to feel about you.
Well, if you want the truth, I don't really care. I'm not too bothered what everybody else thinks. I'm not easily swayed by other people's opinions. You know, if I do it myself and I get it wrong, who can I blame? I can't blame anybody. I just got to stand there and say, look, I got it wrong. Sorry.
Right.
People are very quick to bask in the glory when they get something right, but when they get it wrong, they always want to try and blame somebody else for it. Well, if you get it wrong, you get it wrong.
Good attitude, I think.
You know, and it's as simple as that. And if you get it wrong, then stand up and say so. Okay.
I don't think you'll get it wrong, Vince. I think as long as I'm sure you've done the numbers. As long as you've got the numbers right, you will make a success of it.
Yeah, we've had an awful lot of interest already. I mean, it's
bet.
colossal.
Yeah.
You know, the impression I'm getting from everybody that I've spoken to is that the space we've allotted for it, which we'll start work on tomorrow, is just simply not going to be big enough.
No.
But luckily, because of the structure of the building and the way it's laid out, we've got a very easy way of expanding the actual
because
premises,
you've got
you know?
a huge building.
Yeah, I mean, we can make it much bigger, much easier, very quickly.
Okay, a couple more questions before we finish.
Go on.
So you've got, your tentacles out throughout the United Kingdom with your antique centres. What is the plan? Open up an auction in Taunton and then put an auction in every other town that you're already trading in as an antique centre? or use Taunton as one big hub to suck in the goods from around the United Kingdom?
Yeah, now the original idea had been to use Taunton as a hub, but it has been suggested to me that we could run an auction in one of our other shops up north.
Ah, right. So one in the south, one in the north.
Largely due to the physical structure and the geographical layout of it, it would be a very easy fix.
Okay, so that's stage 2 potentially, something in the north.
Could well be, yeah.
Okay, and the company name is fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
Which is what?
Aloysius Fortescue Smythe Limited.
It's so Dickensian.
I will tell you all about that because it was quite amusing. Lesley and I do an awful lot of our brainstorming in the van because we spend so much time on the road.
You do. You travel up and down the country on a daily basis.
And when we'd kind of formulated this and got it to the point where we thought, right, okay, now we need to go and get a company sorted, we needed to come up with a name. And I've noticed there's an awful lot of auction houses that will use the directors' names. Burns, Hampton, Littlewood.
Yeah.
You know,
standard
so
stuff.
Yeah,
standard
it's all
stuff,
very standard. I personally have never put my name to anything, and I wouldn't. I find it slightly pompous, but that's just an opinion.
Okay.
So we kind of figured that, all the directors keep putting names. Why don't we come up with
something mad?
3 very, very traditional, historical British names.
Well, this is what I mean. It's so Dickensian. It's straight out. You are actually a very Dickensian character. I could see you in Pickwick Papers.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went back in time. This is a new auction, a new business, a new idea based on very old-fashioned, traditional ways of doing business, including the name.
Yeah.
So it is a very Dickensian comment.
We did kind of think about it as well.
How did you come up with these 3 distinctly
first of all, we were looking for really old-fashioned names.
Yeah.
Very Dickensian style names that you'd pull out of a book or a film. At Christmas. And we came up with the 3 names, and then thought, well, okay, Antiques Aloysius,
right,
Fortescue Furniture, Smythe is Smalls. Well, also in the listings.
Stop it! Antiques.
Antiques always keeps you
Furniture
at the top.
Smalls.
Yeah, AFS auctions. So Antiques will always keep you at the top of the listings because you've got an A.
You are very cute.
So we kind of put it all together, and by the time we got back to Bournemouth, we sorted it all out. It was all done.
See, that's the great thing with you, because I know you mentioned this idea to me only maybe a couple of months ago. Yeah. Maybe you sort of said to me, I'm floating this idea around in my head. There's maybe an opportunity here. 2 months later, you're about to start.
Yeah.
So when is the first auction?
Wednesday, the 17th of January.
2024?
Yeah, next year, yeah. First one, 2 months' time.
I'm looking forward to it, Vince.
Yeah.
All the very best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Well done, you.
All right. Cheers.